Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Maxi here once again, and I am back once again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong 64 for the Nintendo 64. So, last time, we finally managed able to wrap things up through everything in terms of Gloomy Galleon, and also decided able to take down the fourth boss in the game known as Puff Toss, as Lanky Kong. And in addition to that though, we also received the 4th DK key, so in this case though, we finally managed able to actually explore onto the next world in this game, known as Fungi Forest. So in addition to those particular stuff though, is the fact that we somehow managed able to still collect some more golden bananas exponentially during the course within the DK Isles. So, and I think that's about it basically. So today, for this video, is the fact that we're going to be still carry on exploring for the forms of Fungi Forest. So hopefully we can able to actually complete the amount of stuff as we possibly could. Well, as far as the forms of the actual world progression goes, for Fungi Forest, as far as what I do somehow manage to find out, I don't think we can probably able to complete everything in this world all in one particular run through, just like in the forms of how it does it in not only in Jungle Japes, but also with the forms of Angry Aztec as well, because, well, as far as I'm aware, that we do need able to learn some more moves until whenever we hopefully completely done with the forms of Fungi Forest. Well, mind you about the fact that we just somehow barely got started with this world, basically, so relatively speaking, though, there's not much else to ask for. So, anyway, so let's just go ahead and bring out a different character. Like, for instance, we'll bring out Lanky Kong here, just to ensure that we will be able to actually able to activate most of those switches anyway, with all these separate Kongs separately. And in addition to that though, I see that particular familiar banana balloon that we can able to pop. So, oh, nice. Nice accurate shot, I might add. So, but yeah, as far as we can able to actually experience with the forms of Fungi Forest in the forms of this particular part, then obviously we're going to be exploring the inside portion of this ginormous mushroom, so we can pretty much guarantee we can able to actually do some tons of stuff here and there. So, anyways, let's go ahead and restore our music instruments ammo count, so just to ensure that we're probably not going to waste too much of it. Well, apart from the fact that because of the forms of how the fact, remember what I keep on about in terms of the forms of how sensitive the actual right analog stick is sometimes, if you ever played the Wii U Virtual Console re-release version of the game. So relatively speaking though, and same applies to the forms of modern controllers, if you ever played the emulator version of Donkey Kong 64 on Project 64 emulator, basically though is the fact that relatively speaking I just have no idea why I managed able to complain about in terms of sensitivity when it comes to like utilizing the right analog stick converted into C buttons and stuff like that. But either way, let's just go ahead and activate more of those switches right here. So of course the only remaining one is of course Donkey Kong himself. So as you can tell, we actually stumbled across a blue switch featuring Donkey Kong's face, and I think that could be also applies for Tiny's barrel, if I recall, or in some cases though, the Tiny's face icon as well. That basically, that's when the actual upgraded version of that particular ground pound technique was actually existence. So anyway, so once you activate all 5 of those different switches, basically we're now able to actually access to the actual cannons. So potentially, for instance, if we managed able to decide to do a lot of climbing to do, well, basically if we just somehow use the actual super ground pound for Donkey Kong, basically he'll able to get himself a glorious golden banana. So the fastest way you can do this is by simply hop into the actual cannon itself. So yeah, once you get into the cannon, not only do you get some more bananas for Donkey Kong, but also potentially you get yourselves a glorious golden banana instantly. So 116. So yeah, we are getting there, folks. But either way, let's just go ahead and grab some, well, despite the fact that we've already reached the amount of, you know, crystal coconuts at this point. Well, mind you about the fact that I don't think we can probably utilize the crystal coconuts for quite some time until whenever we do some more mission objectives from here. So anyway, let's just go ahead and shoot the another banana balloon for Lanky Kong right here, because I can definitely see that from a distance, and let's just go ahead and switch it back onto, let's just say Chunky Kong, because something tells me that there's going to be some even more bananas just around here, so... And in fact, the matter is, though, I think, relatively speaking, we're about to get even more bananas for Chunky Kong, basically, so... Yeah, despite the fact that this is the, you know, for starters, when it comes to... Aw, don't tell me. Yeah, I just fell off. Hey, I didn't expect to see that, but luckily there are some tons of ladders you can able to utilize to able to climb back up, in case if you keep on falling off, and then basically you can able to get back on track at one point or another. In fact, this particular bit does remind me of something related to... Aw, jeez, I have to stop doing the actual fall damage right there, because that will just get... twice as ridiculous, kind of thing about it, and thus there are some Diddy Kong's barrels here, Diddy Kong's bananas right here, so, I've honestly have no idea why I keep on saying Diddy Kong's barrels, because I keep thinking about not only Donkey Kong Country Returns, but also Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze as well, because usually, relatively speaking, though, about the fact that, well, it's been a very long time since I actually last played, both Donkey Kong Country Returns on, not only on the Wii version, but also on the 3DS version as well, but the same applies to the forms of Tropical Freeze as well, both on the Wii U and Nintendo Switch versions, so either way though, but hopefully I'll get back into those. Well, exponentially speaking, I've pretty much guarantee I've completed every single levels, except on hard mode, with, well, not only on hard mode in Tropical Freeze, but potentially mirror mode in Returns, so... But either way, let's just go ahead and climb ourselves back up, so just to ensure that we will... Actually, let me go ahead and double check. Yeah, I honestly have no idea why I just keep on falling off like a lunatic. But something tells me, yeah, that has to be by the forms of Diddy Kong's, you know, Kasplat right here, because I can definitely see that particular red hair. So we'll definitely go ahead and switch to Diddy Kong eventually. But for now on, though, we'll just go ahead and keep on exploring for the most part in the actual mushroom itself. So, seems like out of all the actual Kongs, during the forms of the actual ginormous mushroom section, it feels like that Chunky Kong seems to able to actually just to get tons of bananas in this place, which I know it seems a little bit more weird, but something tells me about the forms of that particular hint coming up. But then again, though, we have to mainly focusing on not only collecting some more bananas, but also by the forms of trying to able to do some more mission objectives for certain Kongs for Fungi Forest. So, but usually, relatively speaking, though, so far we're still on daytime right now. But hopefully we're about to do nighttime eventually, though. But it might take a bit of while to able to actually just to dive right into certain points. So, anyway, so speaking of such, though, here's the forms of the actual bonus barrel for Tiny Kong that she can only get into. So, because obviously that we can able to activate... Oh, jeez, there's another chunky banana right there. But hopefully I will be back for this. So... Alright, so I believe we got to make our way to... Ah, dang it! I got confused with the actual button layout, because I keep on thinking about the fact that, well, usually just tapping A twice will allow me to able to activate the actual ponytail twirl, so hopefully we'll try this again for the second attempt, and hopefully we'll make our way to the golden banana barrel so we can potentially try to go ahead and deal with the next minigame, so... But keep that in mind, though, we do have a time limit as well, so keep that in mind. So, anyway, so a few things we want to explain, and that is the fact that, well, today's date, of course, is the 3rd of February today, in this case in 2023 today, and today, for those of you who lived in the UK, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish has finally come to its release in the UK's big screen, in the cinemas potentially. And for what I've seen it recently today, I actually had a blast watching it, especially, well, then again though, I'm probably not going to spoil anything else too much about it, because I know for a fact that this film is basically just new at this point, and I'm going to say, it is a huge blast to able to actually just to watch the film, regardless of anything else. So anyways, here we go back onto the forms of that particular a swinging vines kind of challenge, where basically, once again, we have to able to get, you know, some DK coins here and there, and once you've done so already, then you would be able to get yourselves, what else? A golden banana. So, personally, I found this one to be a lot more easier to able to complete. Well, sometimes though, about the fact that sometimes the actual camera angles might seem to throw me off a bit, but either way, no problemo. So, anywho, so, and another thing I would like to mention though, is the fact that, well, relatively speaking, that, originally, I was expecting to try to mention something more related to Mario Kart Tour at this point, because I know for a fact that until specifically next Wednesday, to be more specifically in, I would say, on the 8th of February, during the course of it this year, that it will mark the next tour for Mario Kart Tour, despite the fact that I don't usually like the game that much. But regardless of such though, it's just about the fact that, well, I'll promise you guys, whenever we get to the next part of this game, that I could potentially try to able to mention some more infos about the new tour is about to be up on and running for Mario Kart Tour. But either way though, let's not get ahead of ourselves at this point, because either way, things gets a little bit more relative at this point, especially, well, I've got nothing more to add, so... Anyway, so let's go ahead and climb up the ladders again, just to ensure that we'll try to able to find the remaining of those bananas, hopefully. But either way though, I suppose we'll be back for, you know, the inside portion of the actual mushroom itself until for later, so... Because I can assure you, I'm actually missing something for Chunky's bananas, I'm presuming so, Alright, so, yeah, I'm just gonna have to make sure that I will be able to be back for those, so... And something tells me there are some, more bananas for Donkey Kong, and speaking of Donkey Kong, we actually stumbled across the actual familiar, DK pad. So that way we can potentially try to deal with, what else? Even more barrel blasting segments, so... This is where the point where the game starts to get a bit difficult at this point, especially because, relatively speaking though, with those barrel blasting segments, that basically though, sometimes you can actually, well, I found this particular barrel section to be a bit easier than the forms of how it does it in, Gloomy Galleon to me though, just because in Gloomy Galleon though, that basically it's somewhat, you know, split into two different routes you can able to take, but... Either way though, this is pretty self-explanatory with all that leniency and stuff like that, except with about the fact that with this barrel, that it just goes like a full 360, so... Oh, wait a minute. There we go. All sorted. So, yeah, we could go from here, and go for this little tiny ring, just like in the forms of how it does it in Frantic Factory. So, either way though, rings are always important, just to ensure you get the accurate shots. And something tells me we got ourselves another minigame to play. And this time we have... Oh, it's this one again. Peril Path Panic again. The last time we played this was actually in DK Isles, but except this time we now need to save 8 instead of 10. So, gee, I honestly have no idea why I've come across for this particular difficulty right here with this particular minigame as opposed to like straight away, because I did this a bit better late than never kind of routine I suppose, but I'm guessing it's probably because I just want to get the actual hardest parts out of the way for certain minigames before we dive right into somewhat of a toned down difficulty or something. But either way though, still, this is where the point where the game starts to get a bit difficult when it comes to minigame encounters, which I've honestly have no idea why, how many times you're going to be playing certain minigames at this point, because let me tell you, I think I've lost track of myself. But hopefully I'll also do a massive research upon how much minigames you will come across into throughout the whole game itself. But either way, we did this no issue. Well, despite the fact that certain banana fairies will get munched up no matter what. But don't worry though, thankfully you're still able to get yourselves a golden banana once you've completely done with this barrel blasting segment, so... 118, so looking good so far. Mind you, we still got a whole ways to go for this point, especially no wonder why, that this particular playthrough is going to be twice as long compared to the forms of how it does it on any other Donkey Kong games I ever played. Well, mind you, because this is all in 3D and everything, so... Alright, so seems that we actually stumbled across into that familiar red hair Kasplat again for Diddy Kong, but again, we'll be back for that eventually, because I think that we'll go ahead and climb ourselves all the way up to the top of this particular mushroom, so we can potentially try to able to discover some more stuff here and there. So, but hopefully though, we'll able to actually just, oh god, that was really close. Because I almost assume about the fact that that particular camera angle just almost screwed me up when if I didn't see that particular gap I have to jump over. But either way though, thankfully with the ledge grabbing system, they'll make things a little bit more imaginable, so... Anywho, so another thing I would like, there are some more Chunky Kong's bananas right there. Hopefully I'll try to grab those as soon as I'm able to actually just climb ourselves all the way back up. So, hopefully though, without any sort of issues whatsoever as far as this is concerned. So I think we should probably go ahead and quickly switch over to Chunky Kong, so we can hopefully able to actually grab the last few remaining bananas for him. So it's gonna be somewhere right where the ladder was. So is it like this way? Ah, bingo. So yeah, it seems like we've almost done with collecting all of the bananas, well, specifically the regular collectible bananas for Chunky Kong in this world. So seems like so far we actually on 65. So yeah, just only roughly about 35 regular bananas left for Chunky Kong, and that'll be about it. So, you know, things go by very fast, potentially speaking, despite the fact that, well, I've honestly have no idea why I keep on doing, like, fall damage all of a sudden, so... And there's another ladder that we could, well, we somehow just... Oh, excuse me? That just comes out of nowhere with all these zingers while dropping some more bombs at us. Oh well, no big deal. Because besides, we've already regenerated our health, so... Alright, so I just need to make sure that we will double check on certain areas before we move on to the next bit, so... So sure enough, there are some more bananas just around the actual bit itself. And yeah, we do need to be able to switch over to Tiny Kong because something tells me there's a blue, oh no, the purple hair Kasplat. So hopefully we're able to get one of those blueprints for Tiny Kong, so... Which I'm about to do right now, so but don't worry, we'll be back for Diddy Kong once we're able to done with most of the stuff on this section, so... Alright, so we'll just go ahead and charge up our attack, just to... Oh, excuse me? I really need to start to do some bit of practice whenever I do charged up attacks to able to make the Kasplats a bit easier to kill, but potentially speaking I somehow succeed, so... But anyway, so let's just go ahead and oh, there's another banana balloon just up there, but usually for Tiny Kong anyway, so... There we go. Just only 40 bananas so far for Tiny Kong, so we're getting slowly progressioning for her, so... Alright, so well, I suppose we're able to switch over now to Diddy Kong right now, just in case about the fact that we can able to take care of one of those another blueprints that we can able to obtain. So, yeah, I suppose another thing I should probably explain, as far as this is concerned, that we've only got about, specifically, 3 weeks left until Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch is finally going to be releasing on the Switch. So, no, I'm still very excited for the game, especially that, well, as far as I'm aware, some people are very excited about that particular game as well, myself included, because for those of you who haven't experienced the original Wii version of the game before, then it's your perfect opportunity that you can finally get a chance to able to experience, well, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, but this time on the Nintendo Switch. So, either way though, that might be a sight to behold, so... But anyway, let's just drop down from... Ah, I was expecting to be able to land on that particular water, so it makes things a bit safer when it comes to not losing too much health. But apparently, though, I somehow made that tiny mistake with that. Oh, you know what I mean, with all that drop and all that stuff. And I think something tells me about the fact that matter is, though, we still need to get up to the top somehow with that particular mushroom in mind. But at the very least, we can able to actually find something for Diddy Kong for doing so. But hopefully we will find a specifically for that bouncy mushroom. Oh wait, that's attack barrel, so whoops. What we're meant to find is the forms of, you know, this rocket barrel jetpack for Diddy Kong. So hopefully we'll try to find out as much as we can. So, and yeah, there are still some more mushroom enemies right there, so just to ensure. Well, we can potentially try to ignore them from now on, because obviously I still need to walk around and just try to explore in certain spots, but still, sometimes that, you know, trying to explore certain areas might take a bit while, because I almost first thought about the fact that I think this is the mushroom I was thinking of. Yeah, I was thinking about that, because in addition to giving me some more, well, bananas, and also we could just, camera? Can you turn around, please? Because I couldn't really see if what's gonna be up ahead. Camera! Camera! Work on me! Oh my god, I'm actually stuck or something? Ah, there we go. Oh, that's almost gonna freak me out for a moment, because I almost first thought it might actually automatically focusing on... Oh, there's another bonus barrel. So let's see what minigame are we doing next. In some cases though, we're going back into teetering turtle trouble. So, let's see how this goes, hey? And apparently there's no music again. Oh wait, now there's some more music in the background, so... Still, I just have no idea why. They just didn't seem able to bring the music from the start of the actual minigame. Like, I've got no words to add, so... So yeah, you know the drill. Basically, just keep on feeding, well, you know what I mean, some watermelons to the snake. So just to ensure that they will try to keep the balance of that particular, well, you know what I mean. So... Oh yeah, speaking of the forms of Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe though, I'm pretty sure similar to the forms of how it does it in the original Wii version of the game, well, in terms of the forms of the Peggy system, that basically though, it's once again Peggy 7, just like the original Wii version, and same applies to the forms of other Kirby games as well, within like, I don't know, Kirby Triple Deluxe, Kirby Planet Robobot or something. Well, mind you about the fact the matter is though, it's been a very long while. Oh, in addition to the forms of Kirby and the Forgotten Land as well. So, either way though, generally speaking though actually, I think that might be Chunky Kong's down there. But, well, for that Kasplat, in addition to the forms of that Banana Balloon as well. So, anyway, and I've honestly have no idea why I was doing right there. But I'm guessing I need to find one of those battle pads that we can probably potentially try to get ourselves another battle crown. Well, potentially speaking though, that at least we actually got 4 of them right now. So hopefully we'll get the 5th one. Oh, there it is. So hopefully we're able to deal with this particular battle pad. But this time around though, we're going to be using Diddy Kong for this because, well, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure we actually did done one of those battle arenas with, not only with Donkey Kong, but also say applies with Lanky Kong and Chunky Kong as well. So now it's time for Diddy Kong's turn. So I believe the only Kong is needs left when it comes to participating in these particular battle arenas like this. It will be Tiny Kong. So this, she was the only Kong left for able to participate in these challenges. But that won't be for a very, very long while, because I can assure you about the fact that, well, oh, jeez, I'm almost gonna get knocked out. So yeah, they now start able to make the actual battle pads a little bit difficult to able to pull off, because they're now able to actually spawn in Kasplats. So obviously we do need to able to avoid walking around towards the edge of the arena, because obviously if you get knocked back, you have to start all over again. So that makes it a little bit more obvious when it comes to the fact that that's when the difficulty starts to get a bit more challenging. So, but otherwise, if you like do the usual standing towards the middle portion of this particular arena battle, then basically you should do just fine. So There we go, well played. So, nicely done. So I believe this is now the 5th battle crown that we've somehow obtained. So, nicely done. So, yeah, now the actual battle pad has disappeared. So, yeah, we can just, well, continue things on with the actual mushroom itself. So, and thank you. Now we can able to, you know, land safely with that particular water in mind. And thankfully, that, as far as we already know, ever since in most of the actual, like, DK Isles, and especially noticeable with, Gloomy Galleon, there's nothing to worry about the forms of the oxygen meter, because unlike in Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, that if you dare swim underwater, then you do have to worry about the breathing meter, so... Anyways, I believe we'll go ahead and just finish up the rest of the forms of the mushroom section at this point in time. Well, because I can assure you about the fact that I don't think we've got enough time to able to actually just get onto the next section of this world. But hopefully in the next video for sure, we will definitely gonna do that. So, alright, so now let's go and explore up here, because something tells me there are some more bananas for Diddy Kong, and activate pad number 5, so that way we can able to get up there in no time. So, now as you can see, we actually stumbled across into those red crates. As I briefly mentioned this earlier, what that does is the fact that it gives us a homing ammo, which meaning it's basically much more of an advanced version of your regular ammos. So basically, if you ever try to go into first person view, and basically though, if you manage able to like, well, you can't really choose which one of those variations of certain weapon ammos you can use, because I'm pretty sure it always goes in the homing ammo version. So basically, like for instance, if we're able to actually stumble across into a Zinger, for instance, basically go into first person view, and then basically shoot the actual homing ammo, and it directly home in onto any other enemies. So, pretty cool I might add. Especially about the fact that, well, again, the only way you can get those homing ammos is by stumbling across into those red crates, and that's all there is to say. So... Alright, so we'll go ahead and switch over to Lanky Kong, as you can tell, because of not only with that particular banana, or a bunch of banana, but also, if we activate that particular switch, not only does it open up one door, but also 2 doors as well. But, only Lanky Kong can able to actually just to, like, enter those doors, but... Either way, something tells me I'm actually going the wrong way, and I think, relatively speaking, we don't have that much time to able to actually entering those 2 areas, I'm presuming so. But hopefully we'll try again, because, well, hopefully we'll try to able to make my way to the correct directions, as far as I'm aware. Alright, so hopefully we're able to actually enter one of those 2 doors, hopefully, so... Is this the way? Yes, it is. Well, thankfully we did avoid the actual explosions after all, so... Oh jeez, things going very berserk, but potentially we've already got the golden banana right there. Thanks to the falls of that particular mushroom spring, so... Nice. So yeah, something tells me that particular Zinger at the moment is actually gone very berserk at this point, because he just flies insane. And in addition to that though, he occasionally drops the actual bombs, so yeah, definitely keep that in mind to watch out for that, so... But overall, pretty easy to obtain, especially because, well, thanks to that particular mushroom as springs, so it makes the entire process of obtaining that super duper easy, so... Alright, so let's get rid of you again, so just to ensure that you won't distract me, so... And now we need to get into the other door, but this time around though we need to go into the one that's a little bit brighter, as opposed to like somewhat of a shady bit. So, hopefully we're able to enter there, and able to take on the next kind of mini challenge. Where basically all I have to do in this particular puzzle right here is the fact that, as you can see on this billboard, basically with all these different colored mushrooms right there, basically we have to follow the correct order when it comes to showing us on the actual billboard. Like, for example, if you ground pound the yellow mushroom, that actually represents Donkey Kong, and red mushrooms represents Diddy Kong, purple mushrooms for Tiny Kong, green mushrooms for Chunky Kong, and lastly the light blue mushroom for Lanky Kong. And once you've done that particular correct order, not only you can able to complete that puzzle, but also you can able to actually access to, what else? Another minigame. So, potentially, we are now going to be dealing with Crazy Kong Clamber again. And this is what the minigames gets a lot ridiculously harder as far as this one goes. Because it now goes into, like, a very strict timing window. Because now the actual fading black kind of transition is now going ridiculously fast. So you have to be so accurate with those specific shots. Because otherwise, if you miss certain shots, then it will not count as hit. But if you dare accidentally hit any other Kongs, then the actual counter goes back up. So, yeah, it's definitely a bit tricky though, because, well, it was even a little bit bothers me for a bit, is the fact that for those of you who ever experienced this minigame, on the Wii U version I'm presuming so, basically there's no particular slowdown buffering, so because of that though, it makes things a bit difficult to able to achieve this. But, luckily though, I somehow managed to do this on the first attempt, so, but still, it's very, very tricky if you manage to able to get this accurate shot for the actual watermelon, so 121 golden bananas that we actually got so far. Although I do know for a fact that we basically almost had 200 for sure. But that won't be for a very, very long while. But yeah, potentially speaking though, it might take a bit of a while to able to just get this thing going. So, but you know, you get the idea about that. So, anyways, now it's ground pound this particular switch right here for Chunky to do, what else? Another section in here. And I believe, if I recall correctly, we do need to take down, oh, there's a singer right there. But there's also another bunch of bananas for Chunky, but there's also another banana balloon. So, yeah, and in addition to that, we've already got the banana medal for Chunky. So, yeah, it seems like we're getting very close to completing for him, so. And it looks like we're going to be doing with another puzzle challenge, except the fact that, as you can tell, we do need to able to match the exact face for Chunky Kong. Like, for instance, we need to switch out the certain faces for multitude of panels. So, yeah, it is important to know that we need to get an exact match with Chunky's face, because, you know, it's his mission, so. And the fact that this particular puzzle does remind me of Title Driver minigame from Mario Party 2, except the fact that, well, obviously we can't do ground pounds after all, so instead we have to use one of your weapons until you're able to actually get the accurate shots. And it also does remind me of one of those flip panel sections in Super Mario Sunshine in a Casino Delfino in the actual Serena Beach, so. But except the fact that this mission is really easy, so it doesn't give you that much trouble at all, unless if you need to get some more ammo for your weapons, so there you go. Alright, so I believe there's actually a sequence breaking that you could possibly do without utilizing the nighttime feature, like for instance, if we're able to actually find ourselves that particular door over there where it shows us the moon symbol. That way you can do a sequence breaking without utilizing the nighttime activating. So that way, we can easily manage to able to actually access to another blueprint with Chunky Kong. In addition to that, another banana balloon. So, yeah, it looks like that we've only got 10 more green bananas for Chunky Kong. So he's basically almost done here. So, yeah, I was quite impressed about how the fact that, well, this particular world might gives us, you know, a hint of what's the actual thing to come. But then again, we're not gonna mention more about it until now. So either way, now we can actually just switch over to a different Kong at this point if I grab the ladder somehow. But at least we can able to climb on this ladder now, so that's sure it's something, alright. So anyway, the next thing I want to mention for this particular conversation is that for some odd reason is that Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 just somehow out of nowhere managed able to bring us into ourselves the another DLC character, which appears to be by the forms of a weird color variation of Piccolo, which as a result, it did show us Orange Piccolo, which I know it's a bit weird to say for that particular character to exist, but as a result of that kind of stuff though, I'm pretty certain it will actually be part of the forms of the DLC for sure, which I think I already briefly mentioned about that earlier, so... And, the next thing I want to mention though is the fact that, well, I'm happy to report that when it comes to Sonic Prime itself, basically, it actually reveals there's going to be not only toys, but also other merchandises for Sonic Prime is about to be approaching until this coming summer. Which, it doesn't matter if it's either in June, July, or August, but we shall see what happens in due time. Especially because we're still on the beginning portion of the forms of in 2023 already. Well, mind you, we're pretty much still at the forms of the second month for sure. So either way though, because chances are though is the fact that sometimes time will tell when it comes to the forms of certain parts worth noting for, but that's besides the point. So, but yeah, as far as I'm aware about the fact the matter is though, I've honestly have no idea why I just keep on switching between those different Kongs respectively. Because I just have no idea why that I managed to do that. Because I'm pretty sure I'm also able to double check on certain areas before I do anything else more than that. Well, mind you, about the fact the matter is though, is about the fact that, oh, there's the tag barrel that I can probably will need. But first of all though, let me go ahead and grab a bunch of bananas for Donkey Kong, thanks to patch number 5. So, at least we did somehow sort things out for a moment. So... And I think we'll pretty much be back for more of the forms of the mushroom, because something tells me I'm actually off by one collectible left in the actual mushroom itself, but we'll save that in a later time. So, for instance, I think the next section we're going to be hitting to next is the fact that we do need to activate that particular switch, so that way we can able to actually go ahead and actually access to the next area. So, by able to actually climb up the mushroom and shoot the actual grape onto the actual grape switch, as we've already technically did, that way we'll reveal the next section. So, and something tells me about the fact that some players seem to think that they had a lot of nightmares of that particular section, which, yeah, it could be something more related to like an autumn season kind of section, which... obviously with this particular section right there, it's very infamous for most people out there, and especially it contains not only the most annoying race in the game, but also contains one of the hardest golden banana in the entire game for some people, which, believe me, because about the fact that that's how the fact that the game starts to get a bit more difficult at this rate, but I'm sure I will try my best to able to actually cope with these things, but we shall see what happens in due time. But of course we got ourselves another Kasplat that we've already taken care of with Lanky Kong. And because of that, we got ourselves, what else? Another blueprint. So, but either way though, because chances are though, that's as far as I can usually try to think about it. And yes, there is that particular infamous NPC character that will attempt to bug the heck out of you. That's what appears to be this particular snoozing rabbit, which, as a result though, there he is, right here. So, yeah, he was busy sleeping, but not able to wake him up though, something to do with the fact that we need to activate that particular instrument for Lanky Kong, but then again though, we'll save that in a later time, because, well, I don't think we can probably deal with him right now though, but something tells me about the fact that we do need to able to come across to him twice, for not only for one easy objective, but also the second one, which, oh boy, I've heard a lot of horror stories with that particular mission objective, as far as obtaining that particular golden banana in mind, but then again though, we'll point things out whenever we get to that point, especially we still need to able to learn the next move for Lanky Kong as well, so yeah, it might take a bit of some time to able to actually get to that point, mind you, because, well, we've only just visited there for a little bit, because either way though, hopefully we can able to actually just wrap things up for, I don't know what you would call it, because either way though, I haven't exactly know about the forms of this yet, so And I'm afraid for this point, guys, I think we should probably end things off at this point right here, so join me next time for more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong 64 for the Nintendo 64. Is the fact that we're going to be still continue things on in Fungi Forest by, as usual, collecting some more collectibles, including bananas, and especially noticeable with the golden bananas as well. So I'll see you guys and tune in at some point on next Monday. Later, fellas.